All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule well, that teach well, while learning truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophets, servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the Akwaf, which are you sisters that are sincere, and your children, shalom. And in today's video is going to be another video from the brother, the Hopeful Elect 3, building off of the video that the brother uploaded. But here it is. You basically got this Eve. She had a dream, right? Basically of all hell and, things breaking loose here in America, man. And we know that in the latter days, which are the times that we're in now, the Lord said he was going to pour his spirit upon all flesh. And I'm actually prove that through the scripture. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 28 in the KJV. It said, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. Right. So we're in that time now. We're in the last days of the last days. That's why you see all of these different prophecies that are picking up around the world, with World War III intensifying by the moment. Things are just continuing to spiral more and more out of control each day that progresses. And that's because we're at the end. And also the Lord is showing a lot of people these visions, man, dreams, all type of different little kids and people all around just, having dreams of America being destroyed, man. That's what most people are having these dreams about, destruction coming to America, man. Right, which is going to happen because it's all part of prophecy. And we know that this place will be destroyed by ICBM missiles, nuclear missiles and the laser beams of the chariots, So we're going to get into this video and basically hear what it is that she's saying. And I'm going to get a few precepts, and Yahweh Ratazai be edifying to you brothers and sisters that come across it. So with that being said, I'm going to say fair use under 1976 Copyright Act. I'm not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only. Fair use.
Go back to DR. We gotta go back to Santo Domingo. For those of you who are from different, parts of the world, or your parents are born outside of the country. I'm from New York. Usually when things are getting crazy, we tend to say like, oh, I'm going back. And in the dream I was telling them, I was like, we gotta go back to Santo Domingo. We gotta go back. Things are getting crazy. Not even 30 seconds later, I see this aerial view of the globe. And I see missiles being launched into the United States. And it was literally
right. And you heard what it is that she basically said, missiles being shot into the United States. And we see everything that's, heating up with this whole Iran and America situation. And we know that's going to ultimately lead to World War III taking place, man, and all of these different nations coming into unison and shooting their missiles at America, man. That's what everything is ultimately leading up towards. So I'm actually go to a precept real quick. This is Second Esdras, right? Chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse 13, right? And it says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, right? That's talking about those ICBM missiles that are in those silos, right? Those missiles that she said from the vision she's seen being shot from different parts of the world coming to America, man. Those are those ICBM missiles, right? It said his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, right? Talking about those hypersonic missiles, those missiles, because once they get shot from out of those silos, right, they're going to make their way over here to America, right, with precision, right? And it said, and shall not miss, because they're not going to miss. Once those things get launched out of those silos, they're coming straight over here to America, man, right? Wherever the destination is on the said missile when it's launched, which is to Babylon the Great, is going to hit, right? And it says, and when they began to be shot into the ends of the world, right? And the end of the world is talking about this place, America, because we know the world begins over there in the east, man, right? So the west, right, where we're at now, the northern hemisphere, which is America, this place is the end of the earth, right? And this is where all the missiles are going to directly be shot towards, right? This region over here. And this is verse 14. It said, behold, the plagues are sent, which are those missiles. That's going to be the final plague that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is ultimately going to pour upon this place, America, right? And it said, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth, right? Because once you shoot those missiles out of those silos, then, they're going to do what they have to do. They're not going to be able to return back. You can't press no button to, send it back to come back to where they launched from. No, they're going to do what exactly they need to do, which is to destroy wherever they hit, right? And it said, the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. And that's what it's going to do. It's going to consume everything over here in America, man. It's going to make everything over here desolate. It's going to melt it. That's what those missiles are going to do, man. It tells you that the inside of those ICBM missiles are 100 million times hotter than the core of the sun. So when those things get launched over here and they explode, it's gonna melt everything, man. Right? So this is verse 16. It said, like as an arrow, which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backwards. Even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again, right? And that's ultimately talking about those missiles. Like I said, once they're shot out of those silos, then they're going to do what they have to do, man, right? So I'm going to go to another precept just touching on that, man, because this is what these missiles are going to do. They're going to make everything over here in America desolate, right? As it tells you in the book of Revelation 18. And I'm going to actually go there in the spirit. Right. And I'm going to start at verse. We're going to go down. Right. We're going to start at verse 8. It said, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, right? Death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, man. Right. For strong is the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, who judgeth her. Verse 9, right? And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, right? That's going to be all of those different nations, man. Those nations that have got rich off the whore, man. China, Russia, all of these different, the EU, NATO, all of America's allies and, business partners that ultimately got rich off of this place, because America is a country where a lot of people get they send a lot of their, basically their commerce, all of their different trades, their goods and everything to this country. And that's how these other countries have got so powerful off of America. So they're going to be mourning when they see this place being destroyed by those nuclear missiles, man. Right. So this is verse 10. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, right? Talking about this place, America, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, right? Because it's only going to take those missiles maybe about, I think it takes about no more than 30 minutes from an ICBM from Russia to hit America. So in an hour, man, hey, that's going to overkill this place, man. The missiles the Lord is going to shoot over here, which is 200 million. That's what John the Revelator saw. And then with the laser beams of the chariots, there's going to be the icing on top of the missiles that's going to destroy this place, man. So this place, America, is going to be a desert, man, completely destroyed, right? And I'm going to go to another precept to prove that, right? As it tells us in the book of Peter. This is 2 Peter chapter 3. And I'm going to go straight to the point. Verse 10, right? In the KJV, and it says, and I'm going to read it in NLT. It said, but the day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, will come as unexpectedly as a thief, right? Then the heavens will pass away with the terrible noise, right? That terrible noise is going to back of those missiles, man. It's going to create an earthquake like never before since the earth was in creation. So those missiles, when they hit this place, America, man, it's going to crack everything over here, man. It's going to be a severe earthquake, right? That's going to be that terrible noise. And it said, and the very elements themselves will disappear in fire, right? Because everything over here is going to be consumed and engulfed with the nuclear radiation and destruction that's going to radiate from those bombs. That heat, right? Everything is going to be melted. The human body, the people that are over here that the Lord ultimately judge, everything over here, the trees, the water, those nukes are going to dry up everything over here in America. That's why it's going to be a wasteland, desolate, right? And it says will disappear in the fire, and the earth and everything on it will be found to deserve judgment. And that's what the Lord is going to do with those missiles. He's going to bring forth judgment, man. Those are what he's going to use to pour out his righteous anger, right? That indignation, as it tells you about in Revelations 14:10. But this is 2 Peter 3:10, and I'm going to read it in the KJV. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, right? And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Everything over here is going to be destroyed. That's basically what's coming, man. And that's what we see this situation ultimately leading up towards. You got Donald Trump just bombed Iran, nuclear facilities. That's only going to increase World War III even more. Now, only thing we're waiting on now is ultimately that MOTBC hit, right? As it tells you in Matthew 24:6, it said, ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, but see that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, because the CHIP is not made mandated. Once that comes out, then we know that nuclear destruction is not too far ahead after the chip is mandated. So that's really what we're waiting on, the event to bring in that chip, right? But we're there, man. We're here. Everything is already being set up for this destruction to take place, man. We're just waiting on the chip, right? So I'm going to get back into this video so we can finish listening to what it is she's saying. But like I said, the Lord is putting it on these people's spirit in the world to have a lot of these dreams like this. And I'm going to actually go to another video in which it is that the brother also posted, right? But you're going to continue to keep seeing people have these dreams, because this is the time and season in which it is that we're in, man, that the Lord is about to allow these things to come, as it tells you in Habakkuk 2:3. For the vision, right, meaning the prophecies, is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. That main prophecy is the MOTB as well, Jacob's trouble, but also America being destroyed by nuclear missiles, man. Those are the main prophecies, the visions, and they're going to get ready to speak very soon, man, right? Though it tarry, wait for it, because it's going to happen, man, all right? So this is getting back into the video. I'm going to just start it over from the beginning.
Back to we gotta go back to Santo Domingo. For those of you who are from different parts of the world, or your parents are born outside of the country, I'm from New York. Usually when things are getting crazy, we tend to say like, oh, I'm going back, and in the dream I was telling them, I was like, we gotta go back to Santo Domingo, we gotta go back, things are getting crazy. Not even 30 seconds later, I see this aerial view of the globe, and I see missiles being launched into the United States. And it was literally chaos. There was pillars falling everywhere, of buildings. It was destruction. Everybody was running. It was World War III. And at the time, I understood that, war is coming, but I didn't know how close it was. And so the Lord is definitely telling his church, get ready, because we're running out of time.
All right. And you heard what it is that she basically said. And that's exactly what the men of the Lord, starting with the apostles and the elder bishops and the men on down teaching the same doctrine, the great millstone, have been telling you people, man, that these times are coming, man, where these missiles are going to be used, man. The Lord don't got these missiles in the earth just to be sitting in a museum or just to be sitting in a place where they're not going to be ultimately detonated or shot off. No, the Lord said in this scripture, I'm going to get that real quick through the Spirit. This is Isaiah chapter 54. And I'm going to read verse 16, right? Bear with me, in the KJV. And it says, behold, I have created the smith, right? The smith is talking about the scientists, right? That blow off the coals in the fire, right? Having the technology and the spirit that was given to him by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to be able to split the nuclear atom in half, man, to be able to put that atomic fusion and all of those different elements and chemicals together to ultimately to assemble this bomb, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua ultimately put the thoughts in these scientists' mind to be able to create that weapon, right? And it says, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, right? For whose work? The Heavenly Father Yahweh, man, who's going to ultimately put spirit on these heathens' mind during World War III to launch those missiles on America, man, right? In unison. And it said, and I have created the waster, right? Talking about that missile to destroy. And that's what it's going to do, man. It's going to destroy. And a lot of people can sense it, man. That's why you got so many different people talking about this stuff, man. They know it's going to happen. They just don't know when, of course, like the woman said in the video. They know it's coming soon. They just don't know exactly what time. But it's coming, man, right? And I'm going to go to a precept just touching on that. This is Revelations 11, verse 14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe, talking about World War III, cometh quickly, man, because it is coming quickly. Everything that we see ultimately occurring in the Middle East, and that is happening in this place, America, the disarray of these nations. You got Russia now threatening America for what they just did to Iran. I mean, it's just complete chaos, man, right? But this is the time and season in which it is that's coming upon this place, man. Destruction. Right. So I'm going to go to this other video, which it is that I have. Right. Just another video of Eve basically having a dream, man. This place, America, being destroyed by nukes, and that's what's coming, man. So bear with me so I can pull up this video real quick. And I also want to say fair use, fair use, fair use. All right.
For the U.S., these are my thoughts. These are my predictions. Okay? So it might not happen. But baby, one thing God gave women is an intuition. And many, many months ago, probably last year, before Donald Trump even became president, I kept having dreams of mass destruction. I kept having dreams of mass destruction. And the only person I told about these dreams was my coworker at the time, and we're not even talking anymore. But he will tell you, every day she would say, she keeps having dreams of mass destruction, of us just screaming in the middle of the street, running for our fucking lives. Okay? Filled with black smoke, and the sky is bright red, like reddish. Like as if it was filled with intense amounts of radiation. Now, I guarantee you, if we're all fucking still here, that this video will age well. My prediction for the U.S. is they are going to hit us with a nuclear weapon. You can let this go over your head all you fucking want to. You can let it go over your head. You can think that, because one thing about us Americans, we are very complacent and stagnant in this fucking country. And for some reason, we think we are invincible. Now, I'm telling you right now, I be binge watching this shit.
All right. So you basically got a gist of what it is that, she said in the quick little video I showed. But like I said, the Lord is putting a spirit on all of these people, mainly of our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians that, that World War III is coming, man. And this place, America, going to go out by nuclear fire, man. That's what's coming. Right. So I'm going to go to this. This is Malachi chapter 4. And I'm going to start at verse 1. It said, for behold, the day cometh, right, which is coming quickly, that shall burn as an oven, right? Talking about the intensity from those ICBM missiles, man, is going to be extremely hot, man. And Yahweh Ratazah would be of the Lord's elect, that he spares us from this day that we get beamed up in those chariots, man, because this is going to be a terrible day for the people that are going to be left here and they got to face this judgment, man, right? And it says, and all the proud, right? Yea, and all that do wickedly, right? 2/3 of our people and you damn heathens over here in America, right? Shall be stubble, right? These nukes are going to cut you people down, man. It goes into the depiction of how those nukes are going to actually, destroy these people in the book of Zechariah. And I'm going to actually get that Lord's will through the Spirit. But it tells you how people's skin melting off their body and all types of different stuff, their eyes going inside of their mouths and, just a vivid image of what's going to happen when those nukes hit, man. Right. And it said in the day that cometh shall burn them up, right? Saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch, right? So those nukes are going to destroy everything over here, man. For those people that are, ultimately still here when that judgment happens, right? They're going to ultimately, be destroyed, man. No better way of putting it, right? So this is Zechariah chapter 14. And I'm going to go to verse 12, right? Just touching on basically the depiction of what's going to happen, man, when those nukes ultimately touch down over here and the people that ultimately has to face that judgment, right? And it said, and this shall be the plague, right? Talking about those nukes, wherewith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, man. Talking about you 2/3 of our people that come up against the men of the Lord. They come up against this truth. You mock, you scoff, you laugh, you run your mouth. You do all of these different things, right? And also talking about you heathen nations as well. All of you people that come up against the men of the Lord, right? And it says, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, right? And the image of that is the movie Terminator 2. When Sarah Connor, when she was holding on the gate, when she was in L.A., and then she just seen everything burn and she was melting, and while she was still holding on to the fence, her skeleton was just, it give you a vivid depiction of how it's going to be in that movie. That's what this is describing what's going to happen to these people when those nukes hit them, right? And it says, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth, right? Because as I read in 2 Peter 3:10 earlier, all the elements over here shall melt with fervent heat, right? The human body consists of elements, right? So all of that is going to be melted by these nukes, man, right? When they come over here to this place, America, man, right? And that's going to be the Lord bringing forth judgment, upon these wicked people, man, So that's what's coming, and everybody can feel it. It's in the air. And it's fastly approaching, man. This is why us brothers and sisters of the hopeful elect, we're doing everything in our power to get closer and closer to the Lord. Each day that progresses, trying to do more things to be in the spirit, watching as well as praying, looking at these events that are transpiring. But like I said earlier, we know that we're still waiting on the MOTB, man. So once that chip hits the scene, which is coming very soon, right? Because we already see everything building up to it being implemented. So we're just really waiting on that, man. Right. And this destruction is coming. Right. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Lord's willing to be edifying to you brothers and sisters that come across it. With that being said, I'm going to end the video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone while learning truth, 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet, and the servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. And shalom to you, Akawaf, which are the sisters that are sincere as well. So the next time I'm going to say shalom to the elect.